Well, hey there, welcome back to my net zero farming series here on Erlengrot. I'm Mighty Mike, and we're taking a look at a brand new stone picker here being pulled behind the stire. I ended up buying this. It is an iconic conversion. It does run a little faster, hold a little more, and is a little bit wider than the base game model. And so we got this running here in this field, which is not a field that I started with. If you notice, we're down here by the road. The ground is flatter. Yes, I have bought these two fields here. We are just north of the farm there. So I ended up taking out a $300,000 loan. And I used it to buy the stone picker. I bought the seeder that is behind the Rigitrack. We got a cultivator and then this land. So these two fields I now own. I have a hefty loan to pay back now. Hopefully we can make that happen. You can see there is lime on the field. So fortunately, the fields had just been cultivated and lime spread out. They do not have any fertilizer, but that's okay. And so we're going ahead and run it through and getting the stones picked up. And then what I'm going to do is plant oilseed radish. And we'll look at that in just a moment. But what I'm trying to do is, as part of this playthrough, is to not use fertilizer. So we're going to plant the oilseed radish and then eventually cultivate that in. That will give us our first state of fertilizer on these two fields, and then hopefully by the time we need another application of fertilizer, might be able to use the slurry from our cows. So let me stop right here and let's take a look at the map real quick. So you see field 22 and 21 I now own. 22 is being planted in oilseed radish. You notice the field here, our upper field, has been planted with canola. I was able to get that done today, and we'll look at the fertilizer. You see that both of our original fields are fully fertilized, and that's because of the grass that we had planted when it was cultivated in, got us to a fully fertilized state. And then of course fields 21 and 22 have no fertilizer currently. I'm just running around trying to get these rocks finished on this field. I've already done all of the other fields. So I did have a good question from one of my viewers. If I had the rules or parameters for this playthrough posted anywhere, and I did not. So what I've done, if any of you are interested, is I have put those in the description of the video. That way if you would like to attempt a similar challenge, the only thing that I have not determined yet is at what point I can quit taking bales down to the biogas plant. So originally when I was coming up with this series, I figured that at some point I'd either have enough trees planted, some solar or wind generating equipment placed on the farm, or I also think that there are a couple placeables such as I think there is a heating plant or things like that that you might could put in to count or simulate the generation of some clean energy to offset the carbon generation. So that I have not decided at this point. Hopefully in the near future I'll get to that point and be able to share that with you. So right now I'm going to go ahead and continue taking bales down to the biogas plant for any day that I need to use the diesel tractors, and that is actually becoming a problem as well, because the biogas plant is not able to keep up with what I'm taking down there. Right now taking 10 bales down a day, and it can't process that many. So I don't know what's going to happen there. They are stacking up there at the biogas plant. So that may become a problem as I continue on through this series. I do know through the winter there may not be as much activity, so it may have enough time to catch up, but that'll be interesting to follow those developments. So in debt now. I do have quite a bit of silage, and that will be sold this winter, or a lot of it will. That should bring back some profits to the bank account. But for now, I'm just trying to focus on getting these fields prepared for spring planting. And then we're also going to plant that field there with some wheat or barley, hopefully tomorrow. So let me get this rock picker and tractor pulled in here. I'll leave it there. And this here is the cultivator I picked up. It is a Lemken. I believe it is 5 meters. So not very big, but worked out really well. And the Steyr pulls it pretty good. So we have the helper down here in the field planting the oilseed radish for me. So I'm going to continue on, try to get this field and that field there planted before dark today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to jump into that middle field up there at the farm and try and get some wheat or barley planted. Let's walk out here and take a look at the cedar. I have gone back to the duals on the rigid track since I hope that I'm done with some hay work or grass work for now. I'm not going to need to fool with a wrapper. So I've gone back to the duals, and that helps it in the field. It just pulls better, has some better traction. You see here, I have the Amazon D9 4000. I believe that's a 4-meter cultivator, so it's kind of small, but the rigid track can pull it, surprisingly. I believe the cedar requires 90 horsepower, so quite a bit more than the rigid track is rated, but it's actually doing a fine job. It did struggle some on the upper field, but that is to be expected with the hills and slope up there. But down here on this flat land, it's doing great. Well, we're back here on the next day, and as you can see, I'm about a third of the ways through this field, going ahead and planting some wheat. And if we pan around at the 2 fields down the way, they have both sprouted up. And according to the map, it says that the oilseed radish is ready to harvest. Now, I have actually never planted that before, so I am assuming now that if I till it in, I'll get a state of fertilization. The thing is, I have quite some time before I'm ready to use that field, before I'm ready to plant. I'm wondering if I till in the oilseed radish and then plant again, and I then double plant the oilseed and get a double state of fertilization. I may try that, because if so, then that's going to be an easy way to keep my fields fertilized. The other thing I did not do on the field, the upper field that has canola in it, is I did not roll it. I actually ran out of time, forgot about rolling it, so I missed the opportunity there. It has already sprouted, and it does have some small weeds. So once I get done planting this field, we're going to go ahead and grab the roller, which I do already have, and go ahead and knock out this field here. And then after that, I'm going to grab a weeder and then go ahead and try and weed that upper field. Now, since I am able to plant with this rigid track, I'm going to try today and not use the Steyr unless I decide to go ahead and cultivate in the oilseed radish. But the situation is pretty grim down at the biogas plant. Let me go hire a worker here, and let's take a little trip down here to the biogas plant. And we're going to show you what's going on here. Boom. Not much is going on. I have got bales stacked up here. It is very, very slow to process, so I don't know what's going on. This is just not working out as I expected. I mean, it's only 35,000 liters a day that I've been taking down here, so I don't know why this biogas plant can't process any faster than that. So this is a problem. Even if I bring more bales down, I don't know where they will go. Well, as you can see here, we have the roller running across this field here, getting it compressed down to a very nice and even seed bed. We are almost done here. Won't be too many more passes. While we're going down this pass here, let's take a look at the map. And you can see here in the field that the rolling state has gone away, and we are getting that taken care of with this roller. So should have great yield as long as we get the weeds off of the crop. And speaking of weeds, I did get a weeder, and I have decided today that I do not want to use these styres, so I'm going to give the biogas plant some time to process the bales that we already have down there. So I'm going to hold off on cultivating in the oilseed radish. Now, we will not be planting those fields until the spring, so we're just going to hold off and see how things work out there at the biogas plant, and then go from there. So this weeder I ended up leasing. I did not have enough money to buy a decent sized weeder, so I ended up leasing this one, and the tractor is a bit underpowered for it, but I hope that it works out well enough. Based on the performance of the tractor so far, I think it'll be okay. We're going to struggle some on the incline here, but once we get to a flatter area, we should be okay. We are getting a little bit of wheel slip there, even with the duals, and luckily the crop is in an early enough stage that the tires are not causing any damage. But it seems to be pulling out the weeds, and I'll check the map here just to make sure. And yes, it does appear to be doing the job. So the weeder here runs pretty slow, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on around the field and get this done. But before we do that, I want to take a look at the yield changes here. So let's take a look. So the area that does have weeds, it shows that the weeds are there. We have an 86% yield bonus, 87, 89, 88. And then if we go over here to where we have run the weeder, we're up to 95. So very good. We have got rid of the weeds, and for the most part, got 100% yield. We're very close to it. Well, this weeding has taken quite a bit longer than I expected. The Rigitrack has struggled a little bit more with this implement than it has with other things. So it has taken quite a while. And the other thing is I was not able to use a helper. I had to do it all manually. So I've had some overlap. So that has taken some time. That was well worth doing. You get the extra yield bonus. So that will hopefully give us a very nice canola crop. The last thing I'm going to do today is sell some milk. I've gone ahead and leased a milk trailer since I just don't have quite enough right now to buy one. I have leased one, had the shop deliver it. So I'm going to go ahead and park this weeder here and hook up to the trailer, still with the electric tractor. I have just been really impressed with this little thing. And we'll pull over here and get the milk. Hopefully I can get it swung around and backed in enough to reach the trigger there. Let's see if that'll work there. Oh yeah. Alright, you can see here our destination is just down the road here, so not too far away. We're going to have to make 2 trips because this tanker would not hold but 8,000 liters, and we have 13 and some change, I think. So we'll get this down here and sold. Do I just pull on the sidewalk? I think so. I'm not real sure. Let me see what this says here. So I don't want to buy it. I just want to sell. Oh, so maybe our point is right here. Okay, that makes more sense. There we go. And we are making a little bit of money back. We won't get a ton off of the milk, but it will be something back into the bank account. 11,000. Give us some operating cash. Get us through the winter, which hopefully I'll also have the opportunity to sell some bales of silage. Almost back down with the second load here. I have 5,300 liters in here. We'll get this sold. That should put us up above 30,000 here. Just above. Very good. Well, we're making some progress here in Early Grot. I'm really interested to see how the arable side of things turn out with the net zero challenge here. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give me a like. And if you are new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Click the bell as well. That way you're notified of all future content. Appreciate y'all for watching, and we'll see you back here very soon.